Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing, bringing you a general reading for the week of Monday, November 6th through Sunday, November 12th. For those of you that are Scorpios that are celebrating your birthdays with me this week, happy birthday to all of you. Hopefully it'll be an awesome, spectacular birthday. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you will find something that will be of assistance for you at this time with your journey. When I pray and prepare, I do ask that each of you receives at least one message. Hopefully you'll have more than one. You never know, but you should have at least one message in here. For those of you that are loyal subscribers, thank you so much. Thank you for your positivity. Thank you for your feedback. I do love hearing your stories and how these readings resonate with each of you. And I do really appreciate all of your support. So thank you for being so amazing. Let's see. This week we do not have any new moons or any full moons. So we are in the clear with that. That's some good news. Shouldn't be anything too big this week. Okay, energetically. So hopefully it will be smooth sailing for everyone. For those of you that are interested in the cards that we're using today, in the bottom of the deck, and we'll put this there. Okay. For those of you that are interested, cards, yes, because you're going to ask me, what are the cards we're using? Okay, so we have Doreen Virtue's Archangel Power Tarot cards. We also have her Angel Therapy, her Mary Queen of Angels, her Archangel Michael, and we have, at the end, we're going to pull one of her Angel Answers, and then we have Sandra Ann Taylor's Energy Oracle cards. So, actually, before I get all these out, let me make sure these are aligned. Outstanding. They're pretty close. Okay. Now the key is, will I be able to reach them? We'll see. Okay. You're getting a lot of little recommendations this week. Let's see, we'll put these off to the side until later. If we do need clarifiers, I do have my Sibilas and my Lenormands shuffled and ready. Remember, this is the card that was off the bottom of the deck. I just don't want to knock them over when we're going over your cards. So we will we'll leave it here for a moment. We're going to go over that fairly early on. Okay, so one last chance. Make sure you got them all in the screen. Yes, you do. Perfect. Okay, so what we have, we've got a little bit of room. We have your situation. We have what has happened in the recent past, what's challenging you and or what is blocking you, what is unknown to you at this time. And then up here at the top, we have what the angels are recommending for you this week. Now, right off the bat, we have a lot of cups, a lot of Archangel Raphael cards, and that would be these green cards, which is often indicative of love situations, or situations that hold a lot of emotion. We have a Gabriel card, which is a Wands, which is, action, doing things. There are two major arcanas. So when it comes to tarot cards, the major arcanas are things that we really don't have a lot of control over. It's a lot of, things that are destined, fated, divinely orchestrated. The nice thing is we don't really have to worry much about it because they step in to help with those things. But knowing that we have those things, we can, navigate through it a little bit more gracefully, not fight it so much, and also know that we have some help with it. Typically, you'll find that there will be majors pop up when you're going through some big stuff in life. But that's to let you know you've got some help. And then for your overall energy, we also have another major arcana. Now we're going to start with just kind of covering what the overall energy is. Because for many of you, you have been feeling stuck. You have been feeling as though life is out of balance because there is a decision that you need to make that has not been made. For many of you, you have been putting it off for months. For some of you, it could be almost up to a year that you have been putting off this decision. And the time has come to make that decision, to make that choice, which is actually going to free you to move forward. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring your life back into balance, which you have as card number 14. This is Solutions, Archangel Zadkiel. And at the bottom it says success that comes from objective compromise, self-control and patience, forgiving and healing energy. Now in traditional tarot, this would be Temperance. Those of you that are Saggies, that's your card. Now, it's all about balance. This card is about truly perfect balance. You see how he's juggling the fluid between the two cups? That in order for you to have success, those of you that feel like you've been drowning in this situation, the key to having success is for you to come into balance. Also to have moderation, to no longer be doing things to the extreme, but to come to a state of moderation, a state of balance. Also, some of you compromising, because for some of you, there's conversations, things that need to be had where you need to compromise with an ex. Maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's splitting up assets, and there is going to need to be some compromise. But you've been feeling stressed out, you've been kind of off kilter, and this is a time to really just take a deep breath, look at the viewpoints of others, and also just look at the situation from a different vantage point. And come at it from a balanced perspective, a balanced approach. Really do compromise. For some of you, you have been immobilized by fear. So, because there has not been any action being taken. So for some of you, the reason you've been stuck in this situation for so long is because you haven't been taking the time to do some introspection in order to get the illumination, to get the information. You see that there's all these clouds up at the top of this card above the mountain? So in order to make, decisions in life, in order to decide, okay, this is working, this is not working, this is what I want, this is what I do not want, and then have those conversations with exes or whomever to come to a compromise, to come to an agreement, to come to a solution so that everyone can move forward. We do have to clear things up. We have to clear the air. We have to also see things clearly. For many, you see these like rays of light that are coming down over his head. For many of you, they've been trying to illuminate something. They have been trying to bring you to the truth of something. For some of you, it is something that is tied to communication. He's wearing this blue. But some of you haven't wanted any part of it. But again, this is your overall energy. If you can open up to that illumination, if you can come into balance. Some of you, this card also can speak sometimes about stepping away from any selfish behavior or any behavior that is not for your highest good. Because, this is a big old cup that he has. So for some of you, maybe you've been drinking excessively, or maybe you need some help to stop drinking. And maybe for some of you, maybe that's like a core thing that you need to have some illumination on. But to bring your life into balance, to move things forward, to get you back to a happier state, balance will be required. Moderation will be required. Now I'm looking here, and we do have, I'm going to kind of push that over, because that again, it's the bottom of the deck, it's just your overall energy. We do have 2 9s, and 2 9s are indicative of impractical idealism. It can also speak of a situation that is very serious in nature. And also it's about one of the two of you really needing to take time alone. Really spending the time alone. It's interesting because you can see that in multiple cards, and we're going to go through these cards one at a time. You can see it in a couple of the cards up here, also here. But you have to take some time alone. You have to take some time to really look at your feelings and your emotions in order to really evaluate everything and then come to this decision, which is up here at the top. That's a recommendation for you. Because for some of you, you have felt stuck for way too long. Way too long. You passed the expiration date of making a decision that will free you and transform your life for the better. Now, in the course situation, we do have the Knight of Raphael. And this would be the Knight of Cups. And it says romantic, dramatic, poetic, introspective. Committed romantic relationships, being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. And this can indeed be about being swept off your feet. Someone that really has the ability to just rush in and really stir those deep emotions, really make your heart flutter, make you be filled with joy. It's about falling in love. Now, sometimes this could also be about, career opportunities and situations that also bring you tremendous joy. Because for some people, they're married to their career. That brings them joy. But this can be, the Knight of Cups. He can be someone that is, in love with love. It's about powerful emotions. It can also be about needing to get grounded and seeing the truth of things. Because sometimes, if we really want love so bad and we're looking at things through rose-colored glasses, we're just not seeing the truth. We're not seeing things for what they really are. Because we just want that so bad. And that's where some of you are. You see how he's looking toward the past. When with tarot cards, this direction would be the future, this direction would be the past. He's looking toward the past. But you have all these clouds. There's a lot of things that have not been discussed. There have been a lot of turbulent emotions, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. But there is something that has not been illuminated for you. You see how he has this glowing light all around him? Again, they're saying, take the time to be alone, to evaluate the truth. Because when you evaluate the truth, you will see that for many of you, a past relationship with someone that you had is not what you thought it was. There was some idealism in it. He's the knight. This is all about, the knight in shining armor. So for some of you, you have an ex, like you've always wanted to be her knight in shining armor. You want to rush in, you want to save her. It's, you've been very chivalrous. You've had certain expectations for the relationship, but some of you have been looking through rose-colored glasses. Your expectations weren't the same as hers. The result that you wanted is not what she wanted. 2 different pages. But for many of you, it's because there are things that you do not know. Because illumination is about the truth, things being illuminated, but also for many of you, there is truth inside yourself that needs to be illuminated. It's okay to come in rushing as the knight, as long as you're rushing in for someone that's on the same page, that desires the same thing, they have the same beliefs and the same standards and the same values as you do. However, if you keep trying to rush in to rescue someone else that's on a totally different page than you, it ends in heartbreak all the time, and that is what has happened repeatedly in this relationship. Every time you swoop in, you try to sweep her off her feet, and it ends in heartbreak. So for many of you, there is still some heart healing that has not happened, and it's because you're not taking time alone. So for some of you, maybe you jumped into drinking, maybe you jumped into relationships, and that's why they're encouraging you to take time alone. Because when you see how he's got this flag, and it has the medicinal sign on it, and it's green. Green is the color of our heart chakra. Green is the color of healing. You notice there's green all over in these cards. So for many of you, it's taking the time away of your distractions so that you can heal your heart, so that you can go inward. You can do this really, introspection, really looking at things. Because then when you do, when knights come in with banners are all about news. Because when you can do that, you can come in having healed your heart, being illuminated, knowing what you want, going for what you want. But for some of you to move forward into happiness, you are going to have to deal with the past. And it has been a battle. I mean, he's suited up in metal. He's not just wearing some leather chaps. He has got metal armor on him. So for some of you, this has been a draining, painful battle that you've had to endure with this ex of yours. You feel like you've just been beat down. And for many of you, you feel like you have to protect yourself and you have to protect your heart. You shouldn't have to protect your heart. Like if those of you in a situation, you really do want love. And for many of you, you are a man. Now I know that they're same sex. This could be for some of you the opposite sex as we work through this. Sounds like your story, it's your story. But for many of you, you're a tender-hearted man. As you should be. Because with anyone, whether we're male or female, we should be in touch with the other side of us. We should be in balance. Males should be able to feel their emotions. And women should also be able to, think things through and logically and not shy straight to the emotions. But we all have masculine and feminine in us. It's coming into a balance. And again, that's pivotal for many of you, is being in balance. This relationship has not been in balance. For many of you, this has been an off and on because they're saying it's like you keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you are battle weary. You have had the crap beat out of you. Why do you keep going back? For some of you, you need to ask yourselves that. Why do I keep going back to have these shit beat out of me time and time again? Now, I'm not saying that's a physical thing, but for some of you, you've been emotionally torn down, controlled. You've been left feeling as though you are not worthy. You've been left feeling with shame and guilt and sorrow and sadness. And for some of you, you feel as though you have been defeated, as if you have failed, but you haven't. There's just truth and illumination. For it's that this is not the person for you. You can be the knight in shining armor. It's just to get your damsel in distress and go off into the sunrise together and build a happy home and life and thing that you do want. You want that, although some of you act as though you don't. But deep down you do. You're not going to get it with that person. This person that you keep going back to, because you're different people. They don't want that. Now, what has happened in the past that for some of you has also made you suit up in your armor is you have the 7 of Gabriel. And at the bottom it says, stand up for what you believe in. Have confidence, claim your personal power. You see how this storm that's all around her and there's lightning bolts flashing everywhere? This really is for standing up for yourself, standing up for what you believe in, having confidence. Confidence to speak up, confidence to defend yourself, confidence to have the courage to stand in your conviction, stand in what you believe, to be determined, to not back down. It's also about saying no. For some of you, you've wanted to be this knight in shining armor, and you've always gone back to her and done whatever she wanted you to do. You're like, lady, my damsel in distress, I am here to serve. But time and time again, it goes against what you want, what you desire. So for many of you, in the recent past, you did finally put your foot down. And they're commending you on that. Because this is an opportunity for you to learn, to grow, to develop, and to move forward. It's a lesson in life. But it's also a lesson, it's claiming your personal power again. Stepping back into your personal power. Because that's what's going to help you grow. This situation with this person is what's helping you grow. So it's good that you stood your ground. It's good that you... So for many of you, you took a time out. But it's not like you completely ended it. So for some of you, say... They're saying it's like not marriage for many of you. So for some of you, say this is a love interest that you've been back and forth. Maybe you have some property together. And it's been nothing but a battle for years. And you're not married. You keep going back in. You get beat up. You run off into an opposite corner. For some of you, maybe you run into drinking. Maybe you run into partying. Maybe you run in with other people, other love interests. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to suit up and I'm going to go back and try again. and you get beat down again, and you go back again in the corner to lick your wounds, and then you go back again. This last, you had an argument with this person. It was very volatile. All these lightning bolts. And so you both called a timeout, a quits. You didn't completely end it. So you didn't say, okay, this is done. We are not doing this anymore. We should not be going through this and putting each other through this pain and heartache any longer. We're finished. We're splitting up the property. We will sell the properties. We will split the assets half and half. You get yours, I get mine. Then we are permanently, forever going in separate directions because this is done. This is not good for anyone. You didn't do that. You did stand up for yourself. You did go to opposite corners, but you did not officially end it. Which is why some of you are contemplating, okay, do I go back? Do I give it another try? Are we going to be able to heal this? We're going to be able to work this out. But they're saying you're not going to be able to. Because there's some truth in this situation that you are not wanting to see. These two cards, these are what's the challenges, the things that are blocking you. You have a major arcana, 9, Epiphany. Then you have the 9 of Raphael. Now, okay, so you have this person. So for many of you, you have known each other a very long time. You go way back. You have a really lengthy history with each other. So for some of you, you may have known each other clear back in your college days. And maybe you've been this battle-weary knight for 20 plus years. But they were your dream. You see this genie, he's really rubbing on this lamp. He's really trying to bring his dream to fruition. And this is 9 of Raphael. In the bottom it says, make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time of life. And this really is about having life that's magical, really having all the happiness and the joy and the bliss and the things that we want, having our dreams come true. It's love, it's sensuality. It's also about loyalty, companionship. You have this dog sitting right here next to him. And dogs are representative of loyalty and companionship. You know, man's best friend is the dog. So for many of you, you have been loyal to this person. You have been loyal to this relationship. You have been loyal because you have put a lot of effort in. Because, you know, this is 9 of Cups. This is all about really winning, having satisfaction in love, being content in love and joyful. It's also about starting and maintaining healthy relationships. The problem is this relationship is not healthy, which is why it has not worked out, which is why every time that they have tried to separate the two of you, send you in separate corners in hopes that it would finally be over so you could find a new relationship to start and maintain that would indeed be healthy and would bring your dreams to fruition, you just bounce back every time. Because if you look, it's interesting because in all these cards, they're all looking to the past. I mean, even the Hermit, he's got his light illuminating the past. All looking to the past except for the thinking woman. She's facing the future, but even she's facing head on. Now, Archangel Zadkiel is facing forward head on as well. But you had hopes that this person, you would have your dreams come true together. You would build this, you know, they're on this beautiful, gorgeous island. Like, life is blissful. You had hopes of that happening. You really did. And you maintained your loyalty to her through thick and thin. And even though you were left alone, because many times for some of you, she left you repeatedly, pushed you away, maybe cheated on you, went with someone else, left you standing by yourself, rubbing that lamp, hoping that maybe I can get the dream to come true this time. Let me try again. But that's blocking you because you're not seeing the truth of the situation. You have not yet had an epiphany. And the reason for many of you you've not had an epiphany is because you have not allowed it. This is Archangel Raziel, and at the bottom it says, joy through spiritual growth, be a light to others, answers that come through meditation. You see, this would be the Hermit card in traditional tarot. He has that lantern. You haven't seen the truth of the past. You haven't had illumination from the past. This is about really beginning a quest to discover the truth, to discover your truth self, to discover what you truly want. This is about taking the time to be alone. Remove yourself from distractions. Take time to meditate. Take time to contemplate life. What do you want? What do you not want? What's working? What's not working? Because this relationship, this is not working. But contemplate life and listen to your heart. What is your heart telling? Because even this, you've got green on this genie suit. You've got the healing insignia on the top of his hat. You have not healed your heart. You've also not allowed yourself to accept your true feelings regarding the situation. Because this is about really looking, what is your heart telling you? Taking the time to be alone, because for some of you, they're saying that you have jumped into a relationship, or some, it could be you jumped into addictions or drinking or something because you don't want to face the truth. You don't want to, for some of you, it's almost like a battle. It's almost like this ex of yours, the two of you are like very competitive in nature. It's almost like you compete with each other. There's also been like a lot of outsiders. For some, for her, for some, for you and her. You both repeatedly bring people into the relationship, but it's almost like the two of you have this competition between each other. It's not a foundation to build a true unconditional love with. It's not a foundation to build something that will stand the test of time, which is why this continually crumbles down. But you filled your life with distractions so that you do not go within, and you are not the hermit, which is what you have to do. That's what they're encouraging you to do. That's what's blocking you. You want your dreams come true. They would like to have your dreams come true. It's going to be in a way that's different than what you envisioned, although it will be better than what you envisioned. But the only way you're going to get there is if you stop your distractions and spend time alone. And really, because they're trying to give you wise counsel, wise advice. They're giving you signs. They're giving you synchronicities. They're trying to like scream it in your ear nonstop, and you're ignoring them. They're saying you're doing everything and anything you can to not have to deal with it. And for some of you, these distractions are very superficial. So maybe some of you are jumping into one-night stands. Just a heat of warning with one-night stands. You do have to, and even just rebound relationships. Anytime you have sex with someone and you are intimate with them, you have now connected yourself with them. The two of you are now connected energetically. So now you have to go through the process of energetically disentangling yourself from them, as well as this toxic ex of yours. And some people like to call it karma, but it is karma's energy. So now you have energy that you have to clear to heal your heart, to free your heart so that you can get this dream come true. And for some of you, dogs are also protectors. Native Americans look at them as though they are the protectors of the tribe. For many of you, he's rubbing this lamp. So for many of you, you have thought, no, by golly, I have put so much into this. I am not letting this go. I am going to make this happen. I'm going to protect this because I have tried so hard for so long. I don't care how much I get beat up. I'm going to keep going back like a masochist time and time again for my beat down, for my heartbreak. You have misplaced loyalty. You won't find happiness and contentment that you seek in this relationship. This is not a healthy relationship. For those of you that are in this situation, what I'm sharing is not a surprise. It's not a surprise. You already know that. Many of you do not love yourselves, which is why they have healing over and over and over. So because you don't love yourself, you keep putting up with this person who does not appreciate you. They do not value you. They tear you down with hurtful, cruel words. They lie to you. They have cheated on you. For some, they have stolen from you. Now, they do like to control you. But for some of you, you've got the verbal abuse, you've got the controlling. It's an extremely toxic relationship. You are blocked from having your dreams come true, which, God, the angels, they're trying to have your dreams come true, but it's not going to be with this person you cannot release. Remaining loyal to her, to this person you keep returning as the knight in shining armor to, staying faithful, loyal, committed, keep trying to make that work out, not seeing the truth of things, not going inward, that is what is blocking you. Throwing yourself into distractions nonstop so you don't have to do that introspection is blocking you. Aren't you ready to be unblocked? Because they're saying for many of you, you've been going through this for way too long. Now, what is unknown to you? You have another Cups card, another Raphael card. You have the Four of Raphael. And at the bottom it says, seek out other possibilities, look for the magic in life, be aware of your own emotions. And this card is really about, you do have other options available to you. She is not the only one for you. You do have someone that is a dream come true. But you are limited. You are keeping yourself stuck because things have not turned out the way you would have liked. Things are not turning out the way you had hoped. You had hoped things would turn out with this love that you've had for years. And again, for many of you, it's 10, 20 some years. Could have been your college sweetheart, but this is someone that you've held on to for a very, very long time, despite it being, they're showing me the image of a yo-yo. It's kind of been a yo-yo or a carousel ride where it's up and down and up and down, up and down, and toxic. Very, they're saying hateful words have been thrown at each other repeatedly. Neglect, cheating, but you'd hope that things would work out. And things haven't worked out because they're not meant to work out. They have presented you a new opportunity. But you turned your back on that opportunity. This card is really all about, divine opportunities coming your way, but because your focus is so laser, it's so narrow, it's so focused on this person from the past that you've been trying nonstop to make things work with, you have turned away this other opportunity that you had. And because that, you're feeling like life is not magical, many of you are feeling sad and depressed, and it's because they're saying for some of you, they're saying, again, back to meditation, you need to pay attention to your emotions. Because for some of you, there are delusions surrounding this relationship, this ex, this person. So for those of you, the person that you keep going back to save her day, you're always her knight in shining armor. When she needs money, boy, you're there. When she needs help, boy, you're there. Some of you, she uses health to get you to come to her side to help her. She uses you repeatedly. And you allow that because you are wanting something good, wanting something beautiful. You have these rose-colored glasses on. You should want something beautiful. You should want something that's going to stand the test of time. It's just not with this person. It's time to take off those rose-colored glasses because you're being deceived. There's a lot of delusion. But if you do some self-reflection, that will lead to a happy life. That will lead to the things that you desire. Now, this card can also be, being aware of our emotions, not taking things for granted. In traditional tarot, there's this picture of this man, and he's like leaning up against a tree, and there's this cloud angel coming down from the skies that, he's sitting at the foot of the tree, and he has these 3 cups around him, and he has this angel coming down and offering him this 4th cup, but he has his arms crossed and he won't look at the cloud. He just is not going to accept it. For some of you, you have met someone that is not this ex, and you have turned your back on her. You see here, she's got these 3 shells, but Archangel Raphael is back here holding this gift, this 4th shell. She's sad. She's upset. She wants transformation. You do have these dragonflies swarming around her. Dragonflies are all about transformation and change, illumination. They're about changing our perspective, really coming to a point of self-realization, emotional maturity, really finally understanding what is it that matters in life, what brings true value and true meaning to life. So what is unknown to some of you? They're trying to change your perspective regarding this person. They're trying to give you some illumination. They're trying to help you see the truth. Allow them to do that. They're trying to transform your life. They're trying to take your life and flip it completely upside down, which will be flipping it to the very things that you want. Complete 180, totally different from the way you have been and the way you have done things. They're trying to bring you true happiness. But it's allowing them to do that, because for some, they have brought you someone else. You are not with that person right now, they're saying. So for some of you, they brought you a new lover and you turned her away. Or for others, it could be a he, you turned him away. But they brought you this gift and you didn't want anything to do with it. You didn't think that that person really brought any value. You didn't really think that was worth your time. Some of you, they're saying like there was ego involved. You mistakenly thought they weren't good enough. Because when we have an image of way things will be in our life, or maybe we have an image of this one, we are going to be with this one person, and I don't care who else is brought into my life and how I constantly being torn apart and shown that this is not good for me, I'm going to stick to this. They're trying to transform your life to the better. Allow them to do that. Now, to do that, across the top, we do have these cards of recommendations. Now, right smack in the center, you do have decision. Because this is hinged on you making a decision. You haven't made a decision. You haven't made a decision to completely end this. You haven't... Many of you haven't made a decision to face your emotions, your feelings, face the truth. But this is a decision. At the bottom it says, release yourself from that which holds you back. A need to detox unnecessary worry based on a lack of self-confidence. And you see Archangel Jophiel, she has this cage and these birds are all flying up, but you've got this one little guy. He's still stuck in there. At any moment he could fly free. They're all like the colors of the rainbow. He's keeping himself stuck because he's not making the decision to get up and fly out of this cage. Those of you in this situation, at any point you can break free of this. At any point you can release yourself. You have been feeling hopeless, feeling as though you are stuck, feeling as though you are trapped. You have no way out. But the good news is the path has been cleared. The door has been opened. The only person that's holding you back is you. So since you've created the belief in your mind that you are stuck, that you are shackled to this person, that you are stuck in this misery, at any point you can uncreate it. At any point you can free yourself. And for many of you, you're stuck in this point because you have a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of almost like Debbie Downer, woe is me beliefs. But you can change that. And only you can change that. And they're encouraging you now to change that. Because the time has come for you to move into a positive new direction. Now this card can also speak about sometimes people are too focused on material possessions and money. They're worried about money. They'll stay in some relationship because of money. It can also be staying in a toxic relationship. Maybe it's a toxic relationship because for many of you, this relationship does have abuse. It could be just verbal abuse, but it's a relationship filled with control and obsession. It's totally imbalanced. It's a relationship that has made you feel worthless and guilt-ridden and shameful. This is the time for you to break free. And for some of you haven't broken free because you've lacked the confidence. And for many of you, you've lacked the confidence because this person, again, he has this armor. He's metal from from his neck clear down to his toes. That person has made you feel as though you aren't worthy. They have torn your self-esteem down. Yeah, often in relationships that are very toxic, the partner who doesn't want to lose the other one, so the one that's relying on, it's like, oh my gosh, I need this knight of shining armor. I need him to come to my rescue all the time because, I'm horrible with money and I'm frivolous and I really like to look good and wear my Gucci and I like to drive my Mercedes and I want all these really nice things, but I can't really afford it. So I need him to constantly come in and help me, or, I constantly need advice and assistance because I just can't do things on my own. So he's a catch. He's any woman's dream come true. So in order for me to control the situation and keep his assistance, I'm going to tear him down. I'm going to make him think that he's less than, that he's not a good provider, that he is all these things that he is not. But I'm going to make him think that. So I will have him trapped and he will repeatedly come back. And for some, maybe sometimes people can use sex like obsession. So for some of you, it is an obsessive relationship, which is why there's been this constant cheating and jealous behavior. So for some of you, she'll pull you in by making you jealous. But it's to control. It's manipulate. And that is what people do when they don't want to lose someone and they want to continue to control the person and control the situation. And that's what has occurred in this relationship for some of you. They have torn you down to make you think that you are less than. It is time for you to remember that you are a knight. You are amazing. You can get any woman that you want. You don't need to put up with this crap. And that really is what it is. Which is why God and the angels have been trying to break you free for years. Because you deserve better and you need to remember that. You need to remember that. They're trying to break you free. Let them break you free. For some of you, there's healing that you have to do tied to your parents. Okay. Now we've got this healing everywhere. So for some of you, the way that they control you is, boys, they want to really make their dads proud. They really do. Just as girls want to make their moms proud. So maybe for some of you, you grew up and you had a father who was very critical of you. Maybe he too was a drinker. But maybe he was very, very critical, very judgmental, and made you feel like you can't do anything right. Like no matter what you do, you're going to screw it up. So then you meet this love in college or right after college, and oh, she's a dream come true, and things were beautiful in the beginning. But then you get together, maybe you get married, but things quickly went downhill. And the way over the years she has kept you stuck is she has torn you down with verbal jabs, comments, to make you feel as though you're a failure. You mess up, you screw up, you can't get anything right. And at some point, you start to believe. They're saying you start to believe the bullshit that she fed you. The reason you believed is because that core foundation with your father. So you need to heal that stuff from your father. And that will help heal you and free you from her. So write a letter. So for those of you, maybe you have something with your mother to heal. Maybe you have something with your father to heal. Maybe you have both. Most of us, males and females, most of us during this process of healing, we have something to heal on, usually both sides of the house. So what you can do is you can sit down and you can write a letter. And start off by writing a letter to your father. And, okay. I'm going to grab something real quick. I'll give you some verbiage to put in there, if I can find it. Okay, so do some letters. Okay, so for those of you that are men that need to do this, ladies, if you need some letters to write, do the same thing, just change the verbiage accordingly. Okay. So for this is going to be good for everybody. So even for those of you that are interested in divine love and why things aren't moving forward and all that jazz, oftentimes it's because there are some things that, some deep healing that still needs to be done with our parents. So I'm going to stick with the example that we've been using so far. For anyone else that you're, kind of feeling like, that resonates, write a letter yourself. Okay. So for those of you, let's say it was your dad. You're going to write a letter to your dad. So just get a piece of paper, Dad, and just start putting all your feelings and your emotions and everything that he made you feel. Everything he made you feel about yourself, things you liked, and all those things you didn't like. And you can also put, because this is tied to love, and what you will find is when we become adults and we have issues with relationships, it's often because of the relationship that our parents had, things that we experienced through them. So you can then continue on to put things that you liked and did not like about his relationship with your mother. And maybe he divorced your mother and married someone else or was with other people. If that left a mark on you as well, put how that made you feel. You could end up with a 12-page letter. That's okay. Because when we allow ourselves to feel it, that is when we can heal it. That's also when it helps us kind of connect the dots like, oh my gosh, I've never realized that. I never realized that, my parents, yelling at each other and having big arguments deep down made me feel that that's love, that's acceptable. Now I can see that. Now I can realize, no, it's not acceptable. But you'll notice those things as you write that letter. But as you write it, that's you expressing it, that's you feeling it. When you feel it, you can heal it. And you've got all this healing, again, that has to be done, which will help you proceed forward. So get all those feelings out. At the end of your letter, you're going to write, I want to thank you for the gifts you have given me to make me into the magnificent man I am. I love you, and I apologize for not always accepting you exactly how you are. And then sign your name. And then what you're going to do is you're going to burn it, but I'm going to give you a quick process to do with the burning it. So, and this doesn't matter. Maybe you and your dad are estranged. Maybe your dad was never around. You're still going to put that phrase at the bottom. And I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail because this is already going to be a long video, but it is very freeing. It is very healing. It's going to break you energetically from that. It's going to get you to break this cycle that you've been pulling, these shenanigans you've been tolerating from someone who doesn't realize how magnificent you are. So when you have somebody that's not realizing how magnificent you are and you need to cut that crap out, you need to get to the core. And for many of you, the core is the relationship with your father and your mother. The verbiage at the bottom is going to energetically help you. Now, this process you're going to do when you're done with the letter, for those of you, write one to your dad, write one to your mom, write one to this toxic ex. And then if you have a bunch of other exes, because I said when you're sexually intimate, so for some of you that just went in your separate corners and you jumped into one-night stands or rebounds just to take your mind off of her, then you're going to write one letter to all those rebounds and anyone that you've been intimate with, because you've got to break that intimate energetic cord and connection with those people, because you can't move forward. They are trying to bring your dreams come true. They're trying to bring you that. They're not going to bring that other person until you break those ties. But when you're done with your letters, what you will do is one at a time, and you're going to pray and you're going to ask God and angels come and help you release these things, release yourself from them, release the pain, the hurt, the sorrow, the experiences that you've had, so that you can free your path to move forward in your life, to move forward in your journey, to have the dreams come true that you desire. But you're going to then read the letter out loud that you've written to your dad. When you're done reading it, you're going to rip it. That signifies you're breaking those cords. And then you're going to burn it. And collect the ashes. When I do mine, I like to collect them in a pan, because when I do them, I usually have a couple letters at once. You're going to collect those ashes. And then, if you have other letters, you can do the same process until you have all their ashes contained in one pan. And then you go out, and you can do the whole process outside, and you dump the ashes on the ground. And at the final point, when you're dumping the ashes on the ground, ask that God and the angels relieve you of this burden. And that's the finishing, that's the completion, that's you truly letting go. And what you'll find is you want to have your back turned so that the wind is blowing toward your back. Otherwise, you'll get a bunch of ashes in your face, because typically when you do this part of the process, it can be a nice, beautiful, clear day with zero wind. The moment you finally surrender and you release this and they lift those burdens, you dump those ashes on the ground, there will be a massive gust of wind that's going to come up and swoosh all those ashes away. You don't want them to show up in your face. So make sure you've got your back to the wind. Okay? So for some of you, do that this week. It's a key thing to helping you free yourself. Now, real quick, we have visualize success. And at the bottom it says, see yourself doing well in this situation and have faith in a positive outcome. So for some of you, you've been in this toxic cycle for so long, you're beginning to think that, okay, I'm never going to get this, because for a lot of you, I'm getting a sense like you're getting a little bit older now, maybe in your 40s, late 30s. You want a family, you want to settle down, you want stability. Some of you, they're saying you now want monogamy. So this relationship has not been monogamous. Maybe you've had like open relationship, but you desire that now. You want that now. But for some of you, because this has been so toxic, you're starting to lose hope. Don't lose hope. Visualize having this family that you desire. Visualize having this relationship that is filled with unconditional love, where you both support each other, you both help each other, where it's not one-sided, where you're constantly giving, where you're both giving and you're both loving and you're both supporting each other. And it's coming from a place of unconditional love. But visualize that. And claim it. Claim it. Say it out loud. I am ready for the next phase of my life. I am ready to get married. I am ready to share my life with someone. So whatever it is for you. They're saying, though, for most of you, don't put a name on it, though. Because those of you that are in this situation, you're still stuck to this ex, this toxic ex. They want you to break free of that toxic ex. So do not slap a name on that. Say, I am ready to share my life with someone. I am ready for unconditional love. I'm ready to have an adventure with them. I'm ready to start a family with them. And just leave it there. And they'll bring you that. Because those of you in this situation, it is definitely not the ex that you've been with for years. Some of you, there is an ex in your past that, for some of you, that is the person for you. But you're not with them right now. But know that you're worthy of it. Know that they're going to bring you that. Restore your faith. Restore your hope. You may be weary of these battles that you've been going through, but they're about to break you free of it. Now, to fully break free, you do have, again, they're talking about meditation, going inwards. You've got the card quiet, and at the bottom it says, I go into peaceful silence and I listen. And this is all again about, you're seeking answers. You want help. You want guidance. You need to know, like, where do I go? What do I do? Well, in order to hear the truth, you have to be quiet. You have to meditate. Because they're giving you a lot of signs, a lot of synchronicities, and you're tuning them out. You're ignoring them. Because for many of you, you've gotten a whole bunch of other distractions. It's a time to stop the distractions this week. So for those of you, maybe you've got 6 different dates lined up for 6 nights a week. It would behoove you to cancel those dates. It would behoove you to cancel your plans. It would behoove you to cancel your drinking party and spend some time alone. And meditate and pray. Go outside into nature. And ask the questions that you have. And pay attention to all the thoughts that pop up in your head, the feelings that you have, and also the signs that they're giving you. And then take action. Because for many of you, they've been giving you signs. They've been trying to guide you on what to do for months. And you've totally ignored them. You've come up with anything and everything you can do to keep ignoring them. And you've taken 0 action. And for some of you, you're worried because you don't want to mess it up. I mean, none of us want to mess things up. We're like, okay, well, what? This is kind of a big deal. Do I finally call this off for once and for all or not? I don't want to have a misstep and then realize years later listen to what they're telling you to do. Those of you in this situation, this information I'm sharing, this is not a surprise. This is not new. You know that this is you. How many more signs do they have to give you? How much clearer does it have to become? They want you to be happy. They want you to have love. Those of you that want a family, they want to bring you a family. They're saying for some of you, well, you still have time. But you have to pay attention to the signs that they're giving you. You have to trust those, and you have to take action. And they are going to help you. Trust them and allow them to help you. Lean on God and the angels for support. And at the bottom there is a prayer. And it says, Dear God and angels, I give you this, and briefly describe your situation. Now and completely, I step out of the way and allow divine miracles to shine through everyone and everything involved. And I'll type that up and put it at the bottom. But they're here to help you. Yes, you're independent. Yes, you can handle all types of things. You're amazing. You need to remember that. But you have support. You have assistance. They're trying to help you. You don't have to carry this burden on your own. You don't have to deal with this on your own. But they want to take your worry. They want to take your fear. They want to assist you. Allow them to do that. Some of you, maybe you need to hire some help. So for some of you, maybe you do have to get divorced, or maybe you have to split up a business or an asset, or property assets. Hire an attorney, because they're making it very clear you have to make a decision this week. And for many of you, your decision is to finally break free. But some of you might need some help for that. Not just the angels, not just God, but some physical person, an attorney, to sit down and draw up the paperwork, to draw up the divorce papers, to draw up the dissolution, to draw up the splitting of the assets, someone to actually put that all together for you. Some of you also need help from your family and friends. Or maybe some of you, maybe you need a counselor or someone to sit down and talk to share your feelings. Because for many of you, you have not wanted to feel your emotions. You have not wanted to acknowledge your feelings, be them good, bad, indifferent. Which is why you've taken any route and taken any tactic to avoid facing this situation. Because bottom line, at the core, you don't want to feel your emotions. But you have to feel it to heal it. And you have to heal it to break free. And to have this, because they're showing me that you have something beautiful on the horizon. But it's not going to come in until you break yourself free of this. And there's quite a bit that needs to be clarified. There's a lot of conversations that have not been had. You have all these clouds and all these different cards. They will also help you with the conversations that you need to have. Now, the last card we have as far as what is recommended for you, we have the Thinking Woman. And she has a butterfly in front of her. Again, she's the only person looking toward the future. But she has a butterfly. It's all about transformation, changing your life for the better. Are you ready to change your life for the better? Because for some of you, she is going to be a key to helping you change your life for the better. This represents a female who is very wise, or she's very understanding. She is someone, you see, she's standing here, she's got this book. She's facing the future. She is going to help lead you to a state of understanding. Maybe understanding the truth. Maybe for some of you, she's a counselor that you will sit down with, and she'll help you really look at your feelings, look at your emotions to get this, because again, this is what's blocking you. You're being blocked because you have not had the aha, you've not had the epiphany, you've not been able to shine the light on the fact that this ex that you repeatedly go back to is not your dream come true. So maybe for some of you, she's a counselor. Maybe for some, she's a female friend, but she's someone that can help you understand your feelings. She can also help you really cut through the BS. Bottom line, get down to the truth of things, so that you can take your life in a new direction. Because again, she's the only one facing the future. She's the key to getting you into the future, into a new direction, into the direction that will bring you happiness. Now, for some, this can also speak about a new love interest, someone coming in, and she's very connected. She's very thoughtful. She's very conscious. She could be very spiritually minded. For some, she's extremely intelligent. And she's also very aware of things that, the nuances, maybe the things that you don't notice. For some, she could be aware of things you're not aware of. But this is a week of getting to the truth. You're being encouraged to get to the truth. You've got her sitting here with a book. You've got her with a book. Open the book. Open the book to the truth. Really look at things. Really delve in. And if you can do that this week, you'll be able to start getting yourself out of this miserable state you've been stuck in. And that's what they want for you. They want you out of this. You want out of this too. So let them help you get out of this mess. Okay, so go ahead and think of a question real quick. We will pull one angel answer card. So if there is something that has not been answered in this reading, or maybe you just have a question, go ahead and think of that real quick. And we will pull a card. You ready? Okay. Okay, so for those of you in this situation, you really need to start listening to your divine team. You have listened to your intuition. Let me get the book. Okay. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is completely reliable and accurate at this time. Listen to your inner guidance and you can't go wrong. You can be certain that the messages you're receiving from your angels are real and trustworthy. Have faith in your feelings about the circumstances you're experiencing. Your insights into other people and their true feelings or motives are perfectly accurate. There is no need to question what you know is true. So, hopefully that helps all of you. I do wish you an amazing week filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings.